I was just recently asked a question, what books do you recommend? If I'm just getting started, I want to develop, I want to grow. And what's your favorite books? What are your top five? And I'm a fanatical reader. I wasn't at one time, but I want to share with you that self-education will create so much more happiness and abundance and success in your life versus just taking only a traditional path of education and stopping there. Most people stop reading after high school. A very, very large percentage. I had the opportunity and I was blessed to go study an undergraduate as an engineer, then went on to get a master's. But even then, I only read because I had to read. I was never introduced to the idea of feeding the mind and developing and thinking the right thoughts. That wasn't something that I was ever taught. Not until I met a very successful individual that actually shared with me this concept that he attributed a ton of his success to. So I want to share that with you. There's 5 books that, out of all the books, there's a ton of books. I have hundreds of books that I would recommend. The first one is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Can you imagine Napoleon Hill goes to sit with Andrew Carnegie, one of the most wealthiest people in the entire world, if not the wealthiest, and he wanted to do an interview with him to write an article on what made him successful, what made him tick. And he gave him a challenge, but this challenge was going to take his full adult life. He wrote this book in about 30 years or so, approximately, and he interviewed the most successful people that made an impact in the world, that helped change the world to where it was at that time. And he put things that they had in common, for instance, like a burning desire, autosuggestion, mastermind alliance, those type of things. And he put it all together in a book. So can you imagine taking all that hard work, all those interviews, all that he put into a book, and you could read this in a couple of weeks. The key is to read this over and over. Every single year I go back to read this. One of the most powerful books that you could read. In fact, every time you go back to reread it, you should be a different person because you should be constantly growing. And so you're going to get so much more information from it, from a lot of these books. The next one is by Dale Carnegie called How to Win Friends and Influence People. If you're in service, if you just want to have more meaningful relationships, if you just want to be a better listener, a better person, if you want to have people like you more, not that you're trying to manipulate, you're just becoming a better person, then you want to read this book. It's called How to Win Friends and Influence People. Another book that's actually, this one was before Think and Grow Rich. It's by James Allen. It's called As Man Thinketh. Super profound book. I think a lot of the books actually piggyback and stand on the shoulders of this gentleman and have written a lot of their ideas from the concept that we are what we think about. See, the mind doesn't recognize positive and negative. So whatever you plant into the mind, the seeds that you put in and that you water, whether they're negative or positive, they're going to start to grow and take root. So you have to become aware of your thinking. So powerful, powerful book. And this is another one called The Magic of Thinking Big. Even if you wanted to start from these books, this could be the very first one because it helps you get rid of fear. It shows you a simple formula on how to overcome your fears, how to gain more confidence, how to think bigger, obviously hence the name of the cover. In addition, it'll help you to cure one of the most, at least to combat one of the most deadliest diseases that people are suffering from every single day, and that's called excusitis. People are buried with those dreams still within them. So powerful, powerful book that would help you take action and overcome your fears to help you think bigger. And anything from one of my favorite mentors, Jim Rohn. This one's called The 5 Major Pieces of the Life Puzzle. Very simple. And I feel like every single page, you just start pulling from it. Let me open it up, for instance. I'll start with this. This is the reasons why it is so easy is because we can do it. It goes into like the danger of neglect, and sometimes why the simple things that you're supposed to do we don't do because it is very simple. So neglect is very it's an infection. So really helps shape your thinking, your attitude. So very powerful book. So these are the 5 books that I would recommend starting with. Now there's more, it depends on what you're trying to accomplish, but they're all going to be geared on your mindset. The more you grow, the more happiness, the more abundance, the more positivity, better relationships. So you have to grow you. The way you view the world has to change in order for things to change. If you keep doing the same old things, you're going to keep getting the same old results. And as Einstein would say it, it's insanity, right? So here's the lineup again. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Dale Carnegie's book is How to Influence and Influence People. The Magic of Thinking Big by David J. Schwartz. And As Man Thinketh by James Allen. And this last one by Jim Rohn is The 5 Major Pieces of the Life Puzzle. Hope you actually make a lifelong commitment to self-developing and bettering the mind. I think it's going to be life-changing, and it's something worth committing to and making a part of your daily ritual. So we'll see you on the next video. Hope this helped you. And those are some of my favorite books. Thank you.